We're gonna have a Kickturn party tonight. All right.
Welcome back to Kickturn Party. It's been a while, but we're back.
We're back again.
And no JD.
We brought along a new co-host.
Yeah, we brought along a new co-host. Fair is here to help us out because JD, well, he wasn't that good looking anyway, so we bought something in better. Let's see. We've got tribute night tonight.
Yeah, we're going to tribute to fallen local legend here, Erik Phillips.
Erik Phillips, ripper. Kid, the guy ripped so hard. And we've got Bunny, our producer
Bunny's here, and he can't figure out how to fix the virtual.
Eventually.
Fair's going to run away with Speed Racer and leave us here.
But
so.
well, she should because he's got a monkey in his trunk.
Oh.
Recently, we had a very terrible event here in the Knoxville skateboard scene. One of our brothers, who is a extremely good skater,
one of Knoxville's better skaters, if not the best skater that Knoxville had to offer. And not only that, but he was probably one of the coolest guys. There's a lot of good kids out there. Don't want to take anything away from him, but he was probably one of the coolest. Anytime I ran into him around town, you know, I always stopped and talked to him. Had a lot of life, had a lot to do, had a lot to go on. He was 29 years old. And tragic accident.
And Erik was a good guy. He was extremely, he was on top of it. I know he helped some people out. I know, after hanging out with him a lot, I knew he was a really good guy. Excellent skater. I skated with him quite a few times. I've got some video of him. So why don't we show
always
a little...
smiling.
Always smiling. Yeah. Always had a good thing to say to people. He
always nice to the kids, you know.
Always helping out the kids.
Yeah.
So
my son was one of these dudes that was always kind of, all the skaters were apprehensive about him because he had the old man skating.
Why don't you can you shut that and come in here and talk if you want to grab a chair, Bunny? Erik was a good guy and he ripped, smooth street skater. He was one of the most technical street skaters.
And he would skate park and transition too. He was no stranger to an all-terrain style.
One of the things I thought really impressive about the way Erik skated was he did a lot of switch.
Yep.
He did a lot of fakey stuff. Did a lot of stuff, backwards, which is totally like amazing to me. I can't figure that out.
Well, it's new age stuff. For us, Jay, it's called fakey. For everybody else, it's called switch.
That's because I'm old.
To me, fakey is a very foreign thing. It's weird. You know, you put me on a snowboard, I can ride backwards. Put me on a skateboard, it's fakey.
Yeah. But Erik had it wired. Erik had it wired more than most people.
Yeah, so I'm not used to being in front of the camera here.
Hold on, put your.
I'm used to screwing up the audio.
So
we've
been joined by a producer,
out there
and
ask about the audio. This is your guy.
Yeah. So this man here, our producer, was also very good friends with Erik. His son was very, very good friends with Erik.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about.
Right. So my son, killer skater, but unfortunately is in the shadow of a father who is a skater, who is in the shadow of these two guys who are legendary skaters. Whatever you want to say, I mean, you guys are legends. But he kind of always had that stigmata of, oh, his dad's one of those skate or die dudes.
Right.
Old guys.
And you got lumped in with us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So people were often apprehensive about taking Cal under their wing, but a few people did. And Erik was one of those guys who was like, you know, I see that Cal is talented. You know, he's not just this son of a skater dude. He's a guy who has an eye for...
And you know, on that note, the same thing, you know, it's like I try to make friends with all the skaters. I'm a skater. Yeah. Skaters, being a skater is a universal thing. We all have that feeling of carving down the road and just going. And Erik was one of those ones that was like, he would hang with me.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I saw him, he would just come up and he would be like, hey man, what's going on? How are you doing? I don't do what you do. I respect what you do,
Yeah.
but I don't do what you do. And I respected what he did. And so it worked out really well, you know, I mean, and we were good friends. And also we like to drink beer together.
There was never a time that I ran into Erik that it wasn't a good conversation.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Cal would call me and he'd say, yeah, Erik called me and said, saw your dad's bald head pushing down Gay Street the other day. And he would see me. I'd be in Market Square and say, I see your bald head, old man. But he was an awesome kid, and he really took Cal under his wing, and he respected Cal for his vision. And Cal's last film before he moved to Los Angeles, Terrarium,
Yes.
had the bulk of the skating, of the impressive skating, was done by Erik in that video.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
And
absolutely.
I've heard rumors of people talking about how Erik would say, I'm sick of running around with all these guys with crappy equipment and no vision. I miss Cal. I wish he'd come back and
Right,
record
right.
me.
You know, there's only so much you can do with an iPhone and a bad attitude.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
But Cal was very distraught. He's lamenting still over Erik.
I can believe it. I still am too. And speaking of, we've got some plaques made up. They'll be going up at the Fountain City Skate Park and the Knoxville Skate Park here before long. So watch for those.
One of my favorite things you do, Jay, is your 10 questions, and we've got
yes.
that queued up.
And we've
so
got-
I'm going to
we've-
step out and I'm
Yeah.
going to play that.
Yeah,
We've
let's
got
watch
10
the 10
questions.
questions.
We've also got a few clips of Erik actually skating. So we'll be watching a little bit of what Erik's all about.
all right, Erik,
And,
brother,
you
miss
know,
you, love
Erik,
you. Hope
miss
you're
you.
ripping it up somewhere
Yeah.
right now.
Rip in heaven.
Picked up my first skateboard in 1999. My first board was the Blue Bayou, thanks to my mother, $10 Walmart board. Cowtown skateboard, I got 149 Thunder trucks, some old 55 bones that JD given to me. Yep. All-terrain vehicle, all of it. Probably trying to ollie the quad set 11 years ago. Ollie. Yeah, that's a tough question. It's like music. Personally, it's probably to really get my shit going. It was Andrew Reynolds. The spot, hands down. Low budget skateboard tour down in Florida. Hopefully back on my skateboard.
That was a little bit about Erik. I do these 10 questions with a lot of different people. I've done at least 30 or 40 people now. Erik was one of the good ones I've done. We've got some more video of Erik that our producer can put up. A little clip that is a montage of some stuff I've done, some stuff Jacob Dome has done, and some stuff I grabbed off the internet. So this is just going to show how good this guy was at skateboarding.
There he is, always smiling.
Yep. The ollie to the flat bottom of the pool.
Big drop.
Yeah, it's just,
Big drop. He did that fakie off that down pole that they just put up the skate park. And that thing is pretty ugly. I can't believe he did that switch.
So they gave out little toy skateboard, fingerboard things at his funeral.
I've got one in my car still.
I actually picked one up and went ahead and got a Sharpie and labeled it and everything what it was, and it sits on my desk now.
you know, my last contact with Erik, I came down to meet you at the skate park, Jay, and nobody was at the skate park. park. I got there about 30 minutes before you. I was taking a few runs, and here comes Eric. He comes up and gives me a high five and shakes my hand and says, "What's going on, old man?" like he always does. And he said, "Yeah, sorry not to come down here because I thought it was going to rain. But I came." And he took one run around the whole skate park. And he smoked a cigarette. He came to shake my hand again and just took off.
That's Eric. Man.
Yeah, no, and one of the things I liked about Eric is he had a little bit, even though he's mainly a street skater, he's doing gaps, he's doing flips, he's doing all this good stuff, this crazy stuff. He had a bit of respect for us old guys.
No, he could ride transition a little bit.
No, I mean, but he looked at us and was like, I know you guys aren't doing ollies and gaps and flips and stuff, but
Because our knees can't take it,
You know,
man.
and he has
I
some
tried to jump down a set of 3 or 5 or 8 or whatever.
Well,
my knees would buckle.
He had respect for us old skaters. He had respect for the guys that have been in for a long time, and I thought that was cool.
Well, and
Because a lot of people don't, a lot of kids are like, yeah, you guys are just doing what you do, you're old, whatever, and they don't respect that. They don't understand their roots.
only a
so-
lifer would understand this, but there's a term that skateboarders use called a lifer, and that means somebody that isn't a used to skater. They started
Right.
skateboarding and they never stopped. They're a lifer. They're going to do it until they can't do it anymore. And it doesn't matter if you ride the street, if you ride big vert, or if you're a park skater. It doesn't matter. You're a lifer, you're a skateboarder, and that's who you are. That's what your identity is you're a skateboarder.
That's absolutely right.
And that's what Eric was. Eric was a skateboarder. And I
Exactly
could run
right.
into him anywhere. And my last interaction with him was I ran into him at Market Square. I was out with my wife on date night, ran into him, and we started talking about, my knee sucks, my back sucks. And we were commiserating. And ultimately, my conversation with him ran so long that my wife just walked off. She was like, I knew you were going to be talking to him forever.
As that will happen.
And even her, who didn't even really know him and know the scene and know what it's all about, respected him and knew that he was the real deal.
And speaking of that, so Bunny, if you can zoom in on this is like the latest issue of Thrasher, or
A couple of issues ago, it's
yeah,
like 2 months ago.
yeah, and Eric made it into Photographia.
That's Cal in the background,
Yeah.
spotted down with his camera.
Right. So
Yeah, and Thrasher actually did a really nice homage to Eric on their website and posted a little video and did a
Right.
little tribute to him. So Thrasher, man, that was right on. We really, really appreciate
And,
that you guys heard the local community here in little old Knoxville and gave Eric some homage and props.
And the person that made that video, I'm not sure who put it together, but they did a very fine job
It was
with
excellent.
it.
It made me cry, man.
And
I was
though,
bummed.
one of the things I thought that was really cool about that is, like, this is the first time that Knoxville's been in Thrasher or any of the skateboard magazines in a while.
Well, I'm trying to think of that. I know we had a lot of
And
80s
so,
spots.
speaking of, I bought in a little bit of a homage to what's been going on in Knoxville. This was years and years ago.
This was Trashmore. No, that's Lynn Haven in the late 80s,
Yep.
probably 86, 87,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I'm just trying to, I'm
And
judging
if you
by
can
the
zoom in on that.
the
there.
skateboard that Brian's riding there.
Right. This is the guy
That's Bat Mike.
that he doesn't want you to know who he is.
That's Bat
But
Mike
that's the guy that
Beauchesne.
owns a skate shop, and he's riding for Schmidt sticks. And look, he's doing like a 4.5 foot air there.
And that's a Schmidt
side
stick
air?
hybrid foam core board that Paul Schmidt,
Experimental model.
yeah, experimental models, and it would squeak when he rode it because the foam was cracked inside it.
Exactly. And I think he's riding like 215s.
215s and like Sim 63s or something like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
yeah, that was maybe 86, 87, and that was Lynn Haven outside of Virginia near Trashmore
Yeah.
when they did the Vision Sims Day at the Dump. There was a whole little
Right.
thing
So,
that they did
you
at
know,
in Virginia.
And look, if you look back at that magazine, right across go back to the center spray there. The center spray where we were just looking at. Right next to Brian,
Oh,
It's Lance Mountain.
Lance Mountain.
Lance Mountain.
Well,
So,
and then
hey,
pages after you've got, there's Blender.
Yeah. So hey, we've been part of the scene.
Billy Ruff.
Knoxville's been part of the scene for a long,
Well,
long
and
time, and it's good to see someone like Erik coming up and representing that heritage that we've had going on for a long time. And and it's good to see that thing going on, because it's much, much, much harder to get in the magazines now with the explosion of skateboarding, with everything that's going on.
There's a million kids that rip.
Exactly.
And to have something that makes you stand out, it takes something like a skateboarder. It takes something like an Erik Phillips to stand out, to be somebody that can be in a magazine. And I'm not saying Erik would have ever gone mainstream pro, or he could have easily ridden for a label and
But he was
been on the flow team.
He was the best in Knoxville. He was a great local hero.
You know where Erik would have been great at? The van on King of the Road. Erik would have. He would have destroyed the van. He would have destroyed the van.
All right, so this is an episode, Erik. Rest in peace, bro.
We miss you, brother.
We miss you.
Love you.
Love you. Once again, thanks for coming by Kickturn Party. We love you guys. Send us some emails. Send us some hate mails. Send us your address, and we'll send you a sticker. Maybe, if I've got any stickers left. That's it. We're out.
Next time on Kickturn Party.
Everybody's gonna hang out here tonight. All right. We'll pass out in the flat. All right. Tonight. We got nothing better to do than to take 6 runs, drink a dozen brews. Don't talk about anything else. We don't wanna know. We're dedicated to beers, smoke, and road. Backside slasher, website grind, Kickturn, garbage. We'll hang out by the peanut pool all night and every night, and go someplace else and smoke and yell. It's Friday night. We got nothing better to do than take 6 runs, drink a dozen brews.